50 days to flatten the curve. It was 2 weeks, and then it turned into a few months, and then it turned into a year, and then it turned into a half a year. But we needed 50 more days to flatten the curve, or there'd be no freedom for anybody, or nobody's going to be allowed to go anywhere. We're going to go back into lockdown. That's more or less what I've been told. But yeah, the government has come out with this, said that all restrictions, apart from masks in public places, in public spaces, public transport, things like that, will be lifted. You will be allowed to go to restaurants and things like that. And the COVID pass, they say the COVID pass could be got rid of. We know that's total bullshit. For example, they're not going to get rid of. We all know it's here to stay. We couldn't trust them with a 10 meter pole. But again, that's what they say. October the 22nd. But is it really? Is it really NPHET? And NPHET's supposed to be disbanded on that day. But are they really? This is the question we need to ask, because they already talk about the new ferry to Mechanical ferry or something like that. Something like that. They talk about that already, and they'll be like, oh no, they close the country down, we're getting this, that, and the other done here. But yeah, another 50 days to flatten the curve, maybe might turn into another 50 and then another 50. So you look at, we've been a great country. But it is, I believe when I see it, to be totally honest with you, I believe when I see it, I'm hopeful that it will go ahead and just give people back their freedoms and let people do what they want. I know the mask wearing will still be in effect, mask wearing on public transport and in schools and things like that. But if people are allowed to, your businesses are allowed to fully reopen and things allowed, people are allowed to go to events, music concerts and things like that. A little bit of a normality and getting people back into normality and getting people back to socialise and enjoying their life again, as life is made to be, not to be locked in the house for the rest of your life. You might as well nearly be dead at that stage than be in the house all the time for the next 6 or 7 years, if this is the crack they're going to pull up with, and locking the country down every 10 seconds. But again, people need to live their lives. That's what life's all about, living your life. And that's as simple as that. You have to live your life. You can't be expected to live. You're not a prisoner. You're not a prisoner. We're not in Mountjoy. I think even the people in Mountjoy had a better time. They were able to go out and watch the sky boxes and everything there. Wasn't that nice? And the government to provide them with that. It's paying €9,000 a year for that. Isn't that great? But yeah, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, to be totally honest, but I wouldn't put it past them to just say, oh, we need another 50 days. It's a tragedy. We have to give another 50 days. Even though half the people are vaccinated in the country, it doesn't matter. We're going to lock the country down again for another 50 days. How about that? That's great. And all the minions, they just say yes, yes, yes. And the media, they just be like, lovely, lovely, lovely. They just accept, no questions asked. But again, as I said about NPHET the other day, we can't just let them go home and forget about them. We have to ask questions. We need to bring them in. Matthew Maguire needs to go in and ask Dr. Tony Holohan, the rest of them, what basis did they lock down the country? On what basis did they close this? On what basis did they recommend this? On what basis did they recommend that? What basis here, down, everywhere? We need to ask questions. We do need to ask all these questions. All these questions need to be answered and asked. And we need to see evidence on what, because obviously to be written reports and things that we need to look at them, they need to be published. And obviously all that, because we can't just let them go home and forget about them and say, oh, I was forgiven, and we're not going to ask any questions, because that's a communist dictatorship. That's what China did with the coronavirus. Just say, don't ask any questions, nothing's going to happen. No, everybody be silent, nothing's happening. Look away, children, see here. But that's more or less what China did with the coronavirus at the start of the pandemic. But again, we need to look into it. We do need to look into it. But I'm not saying I'm hopeful. I used the word hopeful there a few minutes ago. I don't put it past them. I wouldn't trust them, to be totally honest. I don't trust them in what they're saying, that it will be October the 22nd. I don't trust them. I really, really don't trust them. And I don't trust NPHET, what they're going to do in the last few, let they cling on to power, if they are going to be dismantled. Because again, people are just sick of them. People are just absolutely sick of NPHET. Because NPHET, again, they have more power than the government, the people we elect in to be assholes in government. But these people have no, again, if there should be election in the morning, if NPHET's going to continue, if they are going to continue NPHET after October the 22nd, the people should demand election, who we're going to elect into NPHET, because at least then we can say to the people in NPHET that, we elect you. What are you going to do? You belong to the people, we pay you, in other words. These people are accountable to nobody in NPHET. They're not accountable to you and I, because we didn't elect them. The politicians are accountable to us, but Micheál Martin and the rest of them are accountable because the people of Cork voted them in, unfortunately, on the 6th count. But we to give children the door, really, to be totally honest, and elect them in. Same with Stephen Donnelly, Norman Foley, the rest of them all of them nearly got in the 16th count, Stephen Donnelly. So I don't know what that means for County Wicklow. I think that might mean the door. Yeah, the door's there. You might as well leave when you're here. But yeah, and Leo got in the 5th, 6th count or something like that. And these people are in high positions of government. Apart from Head of Huff, he's the only one who really topped the power. Minister for Justice, the temporary Minister for Justice at the moment, and for the Department of World Affairs. I think she got in the 3rd count. But again, she would have got the 1st count. She did get really deemed elected within the first volume of votes. She got enough votes really to get in straight away. That's the only one really topped the poll. Nobody else topped the poll in Fine Gael really. In any of the constituencies that's in government at the moment. But anyway, I'll leave you to it. So let me know what you think. Have you hope for it? But again, I say to people, and again, I don't want to be negative, but I don't trust them. To be totally honest, I don't trust them that they will do it. But anyway, we see what happens. I could be wrong. I want to be proven wrong. I want to be proven wrong at this stage. To show that at least that they give a fuck a bit. But anyway, we see what happens. Maybe I'll be right. But we wait and see. I hold myself to accountable if I am right. I say the word. But again, we never know what could happen after October. They might just let us out for a few weeks and then say, oh, all of a sudden we had to lock the country down again. Because we just don't know what they could do. We can't see into their minds. I wish we could see into what Leo and Simon Howes and the rest of them were taking. Again, we can't, unfortunately. Thank you.